Hello, my name is Brittany Quistorf, and this is my presentation on web accessibility. So the topics that I'm going to be covering today are what would a website look and feel like to somebody with visual impairments, color blindness, somebody using a screen reader, or having physical or motor disabilities. So visual impairments include people who have um, lower vision or they might be blind. It is estimated that approximately 1.3 billion people live with some sort of vision impairment, and out of that 1.3 billion people, 826 million are living with a near vision impairment, which means they're having a harder time focusing on things that are closer up. So basically, usually when you're using a computer, your screen is, pretty close to your head. So those are the impairments that we're dealing with. Um, so the majority of people with vision impairments are over 50 years of age. So not only is their vision decreasing, but so are other motor skills such as movement of arms, hands, and fingers. Hand-eye coordination is also declining as you age. So using a mouse or using a trackpad is going to get increasingly harder and harder. So keyboard navigation becomes pretty important. So I'm gonna go over some things that you should keep in mind when you're designing a website, since we are designers. Things that you want to keep in mind are high contrasting colors, adjustable font sizes, a good typeface, avoiding using, scripty, decorative fonts. You want to use something that's ordinary, that has upper and lower caps, that's been shown to be a lot more readable than something using italics, slants, small caps, or all caps. Adequate spacing is also important. So I found a pretty cool font that was developed for people who have issues reading. It's called A Font, and you can download it for free. So you can see it's a sans serif font. It has even spacing. It's a pretty straightforward font, nothing, fancy about it. So when you're thinking about designing a site, you should also be bringing in all of this into consideration. So I'm going to move on to a site that I found that was pretty cool. It's called We Are Colorblind. Um, there's over 300 million people who are colorblind, so you have to take into consideration these people also. So this site just kind of goes over different articles and introduces you to color blindness. As you can see, it's very high contrast page. But it's still, from a designer's viewpoint, aesthetically pleasing. So it says 4.2% of the population is colorblind, which translates into 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women. So I actually downloaded a extension called No Coffee. So just to kind of show you, what if I couldn't see color? This is, how the page would look. So that's why it's really important that when we're designing pages that we're not focusing or putting a lot of emphasis on color, like to show emotion or feelings or feedback. A lot of the times, red is used with danger or winning, and green with safety or losing or something bad. So as you can see on this site, if I turn this off, they use colors to convey, hey, this specific app or website is colorblind friendly, or hey, guess what, you guys kind of suck. So they use a shape with thumbs down, and then they actually put that text in there. It doesn't work, instead of just relying on a red color. So this, I'm going to go over something cool that Spotify has recently implemented. Um, and it's obviously it could probably be better, but it's a step in the right direction. Before they did not have, if like your shuffle or your repeat was on, it was just a green color. If you can't see green, it's not going to look like anything. So they put this little dot there to kind of show like, hey, this function is on. So it's just little things like that that pop up and, different areas that, as somebody who doesn't have wear glasses or I'm not colorblind, something I don't even think of. I just, like bypass that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So a site that I found that works really good for, all visual impairments or, like color blindness is the American Foundation for the Blind. Here you can change the text size, you can change the color. It's all, adjustable to your needs. So also in this no coffee extension, you can like turn the blur on. So, I mean, you can kind of make it out, but let's see if you, increase this text size, it's only going to make it easier and easier the bigger it gets. And maybe you don't even have that bad a vision. It's just you forgot your glasses. So maybe you're on like the lower end of the scale. So it's super, super helpful. And then you can also, if you're colorblind, you can go here and change the visual appearance. You can change the zoom. So let's say we want it 120% bigger than normal with a black text, a white background, and then you can apply it. So as you can see, it really simplifies this whole page, black and white. That's probably the best contrast that you can get. You can really differentiate everything. So it's neat to know that, there are options when designing a site like this. So what I'm going to do now is show you about screen readers. So most all Macs and Windows have built-in software into them, which you can set up and customize and use for free. And they have like built-in shortcuts to help you jump in between sections, headings, and links. So to get there, all you got to do is go to System Preferences, Accessibility, and here's all different things that you can do. You can go really in depth and take a whole training on, when you're using a screen reader. You enable it, and
VoiceOver.
Here he goes.
Speaks descriptions of items on the screen and can be used to control the computer using only your keyboard. If you all read.
So I'm just going to turn that off because it takes a while to like go through, but I wanted to show you, I found this other site from, the Web Accessibility Initiative, W3C, I'm sure we all remember that, of an example of like an inaccessible homepage, something that, really doesn't work very well. So as you can see here, you can't really see it, but when you click on here, this is the text alternative that they use. Just look at how long it is. Red dot with a white letter C that symbolizes a moon crescent as well as the sun. This logo is followed by a black banner that says City Lights, which is the name of this online portal. Finally, the slogan of the portal, Your Access to the City, follows in a turquoise green handwriting style and with a slight slant across the top banner. So this text alternative is just, a little too much. They are going into the design aspects and everything. So to show you the difference when you go to a more accessible homepage, when you look at the alt text, it's just City Lights, your access to the city. You don't have to go much more into depth than that. So the last subject that I'm going to touch on, I'm going to use the Funkify extension to show you, somebody who has, just decreasing motor functions or some sort of disability. So, what's up, trembling Trevor? We're gonna see how you are. So you can see here, how hard is it to just, focus on something and click on something? It's super important that you are making your text adjustable, or like you can zoom in so that way you could somebody who has a hard time, using a mouse or using a trackpad can easily, click on something. So an example of a site that was pretty bad for web accessibility was this cooperative travel. Um, an issue with this is, just imagine you're Trevor and you're trying to, go to Morocco or Orlando, and how are you supposed to click on that? Um, so that's, and imagine going using a screen reader to read through all that. It's gonna take you forever to read through all this drop downs. So all in all, this web accessibility is extremely, extremely important. Um, one thing that one video that I watched, they had this quote. It said, "What's right for you doesn't always work for the next person." And I think that's something extremely important that everybody should keep in mind, because just because I like it doesn't mean the next person can even tell what it is or even use that function. So thank you so much. Goodbye.